That's from the 88.
Yeah.
I love the report right on the back, it cracks me up.
What's that?
Okay.
Robert, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're on a live mic, so 1 second here. Just FYI, because you can't see what's going on yet.
Hey Jim, you got a flat on your bike? I haven't seen you riding around it.
You know what?
Cool.
No, I love it.
It's usually, it's in the morning.
Oh, I have to.
No.
As soon as the weather breaks, we'll be walking in.
You have to have it connected to
It was
the...
hard.
You want the
Why do we have these high-tech
Not yet. Not yet.
I keep riding by your house looking for you, but you're not out there doing any yard work.
Should have came back 2 days ago. That's why I have rocks.
There he is.
All right, Robert, we've got you up on the screen. You can see behind me there. Can you say something, just a test real quick to see if you can hear you from here, in case I need to move this mic further? No. Bill, we can move the mic some.
Okay.
Hey Robert, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better than it was the other day.
Okay, perfect.
That's because we muted you last night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start. Can you all put your phones on mute or turn them off, please?
There's nothing worse, Travis, than having Tully Savalas look over your shoulder.
He's looking better today.
Can we have a lollipop bar?
Yeah.
For those who remember Tully
Kojak.
Daces.
Really?
It's 9:01. I will now call the meeting of the Fort Clark Springs Association Board of Directors to order. All right, we gave notice that there will be a meeting on Saturday, September 18th, 2021 at 9 a.m. Posted in an inconspicuous place so that everyone would know. We're in the boardroom of Fort Clark Springs, King County, Texas. We have a quorum. We have Robert Mummy joining us via Zoom. You'll see him on the screen here. He does have the ability to speak to us and hear us as well, which is required in our 209 open meeting. So that's we're following procedure there. Let's start with a moment of silence. And now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible. One day, we'll all get that right. I'm glad we're all laughing. I don't know that we're going to continue to do
Karaoke.
Yeah.
Put it on the board, yep.
Okay, so in your agenda items on the proposed agenda that was handed out and sent out, we have the minutes from the general board meeting from August 30th, 2021. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those?
Yes.
All in favor of the, well, do I have a motion to?
Motion to approve the minutes of the
Second.
August 21 meeting.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, as, we have the other, what's in here? Okay, as we announced via dispatch and on the board as well, we also had a meeting which we have minutes for on Thursday, September 16th, 2021. That meeting went as follows, so I'll just read this out. These minutes will also have to be approved, but just so there's more clarity as to what was going on. So we called the meeting to order at 5:15. We adjourned into executive session at 5:21. During that executive session, we discussed the budget at a level which would get down into wages for personnel on the board. That's why that was done in executive session. No votes were taken, no decisions were made. It was simply an overview of the budget that we will be presenting and reviewing today. But today what you will see is rolled up to a point where it does not have the information that pertaining to people's salary and their personnel information. So that was the meeting there. We reconvened into open session at 7:47 p.m. And then, of course, we're here today. So do I have a motion to approve these minutes?
I make a motion to approve the September 16th, 21 meeting.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We'll move on to the secretary's report.
I don't have any correspondence that came to me.
Okay. And the treasurer's report. Now, before we start, we have, is this back in the back? Or no?
I'm sorry?
Is this in the back? This document?
No.
Okay, so we have a new format that we are testing out, with the transitions that we talked about last meeting, changing firms and switching software, which was approved at the beginning of this year, or I guess at the end or end of first quarter, beginning of second quarter. So today we're going to try out a format that will be a little more informative. I think as we're speaking about it, the regular financial documents are still back there in their form that was read prior, but we'll take a shot at this, and please send your feedback, and if you have any questions afterwards, go ahead with that as well.
Treasurer's report, August. Total cash on hand as of September 16th, 2021, $738,404.65. The breakdown of the restricted fund: letter of credit, $152,000. Owed to preservation, $1,884.04. Available to Fort Clark Association, $336,104.38. The total balance of the restricted fund is $402,300.26. Motel revenue, a room count for the month, 430. Monthly income, $28,898. The member service report, total revenue from member service was $2,000. Collections report, total collected for the month, $14,916. Total collected from the previous month, $16,647. Total collected from the previous year comparison on the month was $11,690. Excuse me. Fort Clark Springs Association profit and loss balance sheet, current month, total income, $207,103.08. Total expenses, $166,009.22. Net income loss before depreciation, bad debt, 41,000, net income, this would be a net income of $41,093.86. Year-to-date income, $2,097,668.55. Total expenses, $2,094,678.93. Net income, excluding depreciation, bad debts, $464.50. Balance sheet year-to-date, total assets, $1,189,811.34. Total liabilities and equity, $1,189,811.34. Treasury report.
So on the year-to-date profit and loss analysis, there seems to be a discrepancy between the income and expenses. So when we adjourn to executive session, we will pull the documents, correct that number, and report that as we reconvene after executive session. So a little hiccup in the first reading of this report, but we will get you the correct numbers, and the regular financials are still in the back of the room. So.
Will this be available to them, this type of format in the future?
We can look to do that, yes.
Travis,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I got a text saying I didn't read correspondence. I had one in email that I forgot to print.
Well, thankfully, this is a proposed agenda, so we can go right back to the secretary. So,
Okay, are you ready for it? Because
Yes.
I'm reading it off the email.
yes, 1 second. Let me put you on the real mic here so that everyone can hear you. Try that real quick.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. We got you in the wrong place here. Well, it's not going to let me switch, so we'll go ahead.
Okay, the subject line is Wandering Cats Trap Donate. Mr. Peterson and the board, my name is Dale, president of Wandering Cats. Wandering Cats is a pending 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission is to reduce and improve the lives of the feral and free-roaming cats in Kinney County through public education and TNR, trap, neuter, return. TNR is the most humane and effective way to reduce the feral cat population and is a tried and true method. As I'm sure you know, our community has an overpopulation of feral and free-roaming cats that need to be addressed. Our goal is to end the cycle of kittens being born before it begins. I am asking you to support one or more humane feral cat trap for our organization. We will put a plaque with your business name on the trap as well as a shout out on our social platforms. The traps are estimated at $86 a piece and are the True Cat 3030 LTD model. If this is something you would be interested in, please contact Wandering Cats by email or phone. Also, please do not hesitate to contact us with any further questions you might have. Thank you for your time, Megan Vale, Wandering Cats. Okay, that was the correspondence I forgot to read.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions on the treasurer's report or anything of that nature? Okay. Executive Officer, General Manager report.
As you notice from the amount of money that we're actually collecting on our assessments that are bad debt and everything, Renee's been doing a real good job. But the one thing that we have accomplished, and just to put it in, to understand exactly what our delinquency rate is now. First off, our first foreclosure has been done. We now have one property that we've put up for sale. We have an interested buyer. It is in Unit 14, so we're clearing it off now to sell. We have 5 more properties that are in the final stages. But as far as the delinquency of our membership, if you really look at it, because it's not something we've really figured out a way to put numbers to, of the 1,884 memberships, 122 of them are delinquent, which is a 6.5% rate. Residential is 37 out of 838, which is 4.4%. FRM is 5 out of 154, 3.24%. So without being able to look at numbers in the past, I would say we've evidently made a real big improvement as far as starting to keep everybody current and collecting on our bad debt. Next page here. Our golf committee and Cash and Travis and myself will be meeting and working out an action plan on basically trying to work out something to make golf get to be more of an asset to the fort. Our RV park, our internet will be finished this next week. David and crew are working on the electrical outlets, painting, and installing numbers so you can actually find your spot. Swim park had a good summer. We identified a lot of areas to improve the revenue in the park itself. Duck Inn was an asset as far as just being down there, but we definitely came up with a lot of new ideas to make it profitable for next year. The inn, 26 rooms have been finished. All rooms now have refrigerator, microwave, dressers, coffee makers. We are full now. If you see all the cars, and I'm sure everybody understands, we have a lot of DPS agents staying with us. We feel comfortable that these rooms are going to be here for the next 2 months. I'm not sure how long. I won't project that it's going to go longer than that at this rate, but as of right now, this is sort of comparative of what the pipeliners did for this board as far as making us profitable. It's nothing we have done other than the fact we had enough rooms remodeled that they accepted what we had and they like staying here. I don't think we would have gotten them if we wouldn't have made the improvements we did. But it's just like the pipeliners, except I think it's a step up in our clientele. We can't take credit for this, so it's not something we can think is going to go on forever. It's just the fact that we made the improvements that needed to be made that got that business in here. So it's a very, very fortunate thing for us. It's given us the cash and it gives us the ability. What it does do is stop us from finishing remodeling the rest of the rooms, because I'm not going to lose the revenue on basically 28 rooms for a month just to remodel, because this is money we can make now. We have to make it. And the last ones we had were our best rooms that we had to begin with, so we'll go after that. Dickman Hall's going well. Security's going well. They just need staff. Maintenance is starting to get to the point where we're starting to be proactive instead of reactive. I think that'll still take a while. Our software we've been introducing. We are now on QuickBooks Online. We're getting used to it. Our Golf Now is online with the golf course, so they're actually taking reservations online. ProTel will be instituted sometime in October. The only thing holding us back there is getting the final equipment for processing credit cards. It's backed up like everything else in the country. They can't get the hardware. Concierge Plus, we had our last training with it. It will be going live and online in October also. So the 4 pieces of areas we're setting up and technology will all be up and running probably sometime in October. That should make a big difference. Accounting will be working with their new accounting company in October. They're trying to finish up some of their stuff in September for their other companies they're working on. And our reviews and job performance are being done this week for all of our employees. That's it. You want me to read it? Or you want to wait till the budget before I read that?
We'll start, we'll wait for that.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Peterson, the people that are delinquent, our fellow members, if they're supposed to be paying regular membership and they're gotten behind, are we getting something, percentage-wise, we're getting some money from some of these people?
We have a
Via
lot,
plans?
we have a lot of them on payment plans, yeah.
Okay, so they're consistent about that, they're just remain behind.
If they're on a payment plan, they can't stay on that payment plan until they either default on it or they pay it off. If they default on it, it goes straight to our lawyers and follows up.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, we will move on to committee reports. So first up would be the airport. None. As I said last time, if you do not give us a report as to what's going on, we will assume that you are doing nothing and nothing is being done to help better the fort or use the assets that you're using with your community and the assets that are here on the fort. Please, I implore you, send in your reports. We have no other way to know what you are doing with your space or with your committee. If we have to continue to have this conversation, we will move to take action. We have to know what's going on. Architectural?
We have nothing to report.
Okay.
There is a small report.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, we have some numbers just to share on. Yeah.
Architect Committee report, number of permits approved. This is from March 21 to the current date. Number of permits approved, 49. Number of applications received for like material repairs, 18. There were 3 variances issued. And there were 3 permits currently on, what's the word I want?
Submitted for
Yes.
Submitted, yeah, thank you very much. Submitted for approval, 3.
So going forward, those will continue to be numbers that we'll provide you prior so that you have them just for a running day-to-day thing. Just so that we have, some sort of idea of where we're at and what, the frequency of what's going on.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are variances being prepared by someone on the staff? Matt, somebody?
Variances.
The actual document that would go in the file?
At this point, that would be part of the SOP review that will take place here in the next week or so.
Okay.
Golf committee? Okay. Robert, do you have the golf committee?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The first annual couples tournament was held on August 14th. Due to excessive heat, the turnout was low with just 10 couples. 2 places were paid out to the Gross and Net teams, both from Sonora. September 4th was the date for the Kinney County Church Alliance tournament. Due to unforeseen circumstances with the death of a well-known local man and with the KCCA president conducting the funeral, it was rescheduled. The benefit tournament will now be held on October 30th with 2-man teams and lots of Halloween fun. The Church Alliance provides for commodities in Kinney County and benevolent work benefiting many local families. During the Thanksgiving and Christmas season, they will be providing turkeys and hams to families in need, so come out and support your local communities and have a great time doing it. The second annual Ladies Las Moras tournament will be held October 16th. There will not be an end of the month tournament in either September or October, as other tournaments will be held on those dates. Lastly, the golf committee paid for the machine to aerate the greens at a cost of $811. We are looking forward to cooler days and increased play in the months to come. Live simply, love generously, care deeply, spend kindly, and leave the rest to God, the golf committee.
Okay, Robert, I've been able to fix the audio, so you're now coming out of the TV.
Okay.
All right, preservation.
I have one for Mr. Coburn, excuse me.
Proceed.
Okay. It says that we've had, Mr. Coburn says, my apologies for being late with the report. I had some serious health issues this week. Hopefully he's feeling better. He says that we have decided to ask for bids on the hospital to see where we are with dollars versus funds available, and then decide a couple of action plans. We discussed maybe doing the armory instead of the hospital, depending on the funds available. Respectfully submitted, Phil.
Thank you. Recycling.
Recycling. Helena is still in up north, right?
Yes.
Yes, but we did a short report.
Do you have that one, Robert?
Yes, sir. It's very brief.
Yes.
It says, we have a new sign seen on the drive into the recycling center. Thanks, Clyde, for doing it. Also, thanks to Philip and maintenance for cutting the grass. We're happy, and they're still looking for volunteers.
Okay. Lost Morris Restoration Project.
I have that one. All major structural repairs that were urgently needed to save the pool have been completed. These required more than $30,000 worth of expenditures of money, material, and labor, none of which came from the association or from appeals to the membership. About half of these costs were paid for from two sources, the Kaipu Foundation and the Jane Crane McVie Fund. Next, the committee will turn to fixing some minor structural issues as well as starting on the cosmetic improvements. For example, cracked sidewalks and resurrecting the vintage light poles. We continue to seek money from foundation sources.
Thank you. Next will be the Bylaws Committee. That committee is still on pause in the effort to open up our documents to be able to actually change them. So that's where we're at. Community Council report. Do you have anyone from Community Council? Do you have any correspondence from Community Council? No. Okay. Just to wrap up, of the 7 committees, we have 2 that did not prepare reports. Again, please prepare your reports so that we understand what's going on, and so that the members understand what's going on. All right, we'll move on to old unfinished business, rules and regulations around the barking dogs. The language was not sent out so all of our resolutions have to be signed by all of the directors, which was a misstep on my part. I was not aware of that. We got everything signed by the directors and filed at the courthouse as of Friday. Even having the short time between the last meeting and this meeting. So the language for the dogs should go out this month so that we can understand feedback. And I believe the Rules and Regulations Committee already has that put together, and we'll work with them to get that out to the membership. The new lease for the wastewater treatment plant, so we have received what the city and MUD would like to, actually what they proposed to basically operate the irrigation system, which there will be some updates on that system as well, to exit effluent water from the wastewater treatment plant. This is something that we're going to continue to work on, and which will become more relevant as we move into the colder months of the year. Actually, I need to go back to the table of items. We have to, if we're going to leave those on, well, I guess we're not going to take any action on either of those. We have nothing new really. So, reinstating reveille and tap. Last time we talked about this, we were waiting on equipment to find out if we had the ability to do this equipment. I don't believe you've had time to do that, but with budgets and all that, so we'll push that to next time if we can look into that. Hunt guidelines. We have the language, the proposed language. The actual,
Language,
yeah, I think those in
the
there.
resolutions?
That's, yeah, 2 and 3.
You didn't get copies?
They're in here, but they're deep in here.
Okay.
All right, so our first resolution of 2021 with this board was the changing of the rules and regulations as a dedicatory instrument. That changes how it's governed and how it can be changed. The second resolution we as follows. Both of these 2 and 3 were both resolutions that we've discussed and are applicable to the hunt program and have been talked about many times. So I will read Policy Resolution 2021-02, a resolution establishing open trails during the Fort Clark Springs Association hunt program. Be it resolved by the Board of Directors of and for Fort Clark Springs Association that no hunting shall take place between the bounds listed below, and that all trails in this area shall remain accessible to the membership during the hunt program. The bounds are as follows. Northbound, US Highway 90. Westbound, Fort Clark Road. Eastbound, State Highway 131. Southbound, Scales Road. So that essentially cordons off everything to the east of Fort Clark Road, north of Scales Road, to the outer boundaries of the fort, leaving all of those trails open year-round so that anyone can access the trails even during the hunting season. So that was the first one. We'll go back and vote on these individually, but I want to get them both out there. So, a resolution establishing restricted bow hunting during the Fort Clark Springs Association hunt program. Be it resolved by the Board of Directors of and for Fort Clark Springs Association that no bow hunting shall take place within 100 yards of paved roads at any time. So, I will open those up to discussion from the board. Any comments?
No.
And the membership, do you have any comments or questions? Yes, ma'am.
For the rest of the trails that are during the hunt season, are they going to be closed every weekend?
So when
Or-
there is hunting going on, I'll defer
Every day.
from an operational
So
perspective.
year-round, isn't it?
Well, no, it's every day during hunt season. The ones that we have cordoned off will be blocked off.
Yes, and I believe y'all been working on the signage as far as that goes, so.
New signs, English, Spanish, the whole bit.
So to be more clear on the answers, yes, whenever there is a hunt in progress, that they will be closed, yes.
Okay, does that include like Red Bridge? Oh, that.
Red Ridge is not ever closed, no.
Red
No.
Bridge is not closed.
No.
Are you
Just
talking
trails?
Red Bridge Trail or
It's-
Red Bridge Park?
It's past Red Ridge Park will be closed.
Past Red Bridge Park will be closed, so.
Across the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we will be hunting the 400 year-round.
Oh, it's the 400 that's year-round?
Right.
Okay.
So that's an addition for
That's
this
an
year.
addition. We opened it up, they've never hunted the 400. There are quite a few deer out there. And our biologists, we've worked out how many deer we have and what we did last year. We will be cutting back because we're not hunting the one side, but we are adding the 400. And the 400 will be hunted year-round. So, because there's never really any action out there.
For access.
Access, yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely access.
What is it, 400?
We own 400 acres across what road?
There, so
Lost
if you,
Morris Road,
Yeah, north,
where the
west of us.
gun ranges are.
Yes.
There's 400 acres there that's undeveloped, and it's where the landfill is and the gun ranges. So we've set up 3 blinds there.
you move 3 blinds.
Yeah.
So 3 blinds were moved over there. In that process, it seems like it's a more viable option, so that's why
Yeah.
the decision was made to do that year-round. I believe there's water out there as well.
We have tanks that we're filling with water, and we have feeders out there. And there's been quite a lot of action out there. Our biologist basically has told us what, 300 to 400 deer probably need to be removed. We hunted roughly 200 last year, so after the hunt this year, we will probably start trapping our own and try to remove that excess deer, because we could probably make an additional $30,000 to $60,000 just on trapping ourselves. A lot of the deer in the area north of here, all your ranches have had the freeze damage their herd, as well as anthrax. Anthrax has already appeared in Kenny County, but it's in high fenced areas. So it's one of those that we're in a real good spot right now with having plenty of deer for hunters. And I think we brought in to over $50,000 for the hunt this year for the hunt for starting in October. So it should do real well this year.
How many deer will we have?
Yes, the
I mean, you're-
line
they haven't
that's
done
off
it yet.
Fort Clark Road, I
Yeah.
forgot to check this morning, is it still there?
I'm sorry,
The blind.
the
Line
blind.
on Fort Clark Road, is it still there?
I don't know.
I walked by the other day, it usually stood out, and I didn't catch it, but I noticed that.
It was
A
going to
couple of
be,
days ago, it was still there, and I forgot to check this morning.
yeah, hunt season hasn't started yet.
It's one that needs to go.
So,
Right, and that would be resolved
That's
if
what
this
the-
is passed and filed.
So it'll be removed, right?
It won't be used, then
Yeah, we'll move down.
if it's 100 yards from the road, it will not be used.
all right, so do we have,
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2021-02 and 2021-03.
Second.
all in favor? Unanimous. So if we can sign these during executive session, and then we'll file them next week. Thank you. So last meeting, we had correspondence from the Lossmore Spring Conservation Association. They were asking for a lease. I believe that during that time, we asked that we have a town hall to further understand what the goal and how it would be operated with that group. They have proposed September 21st as a town hall time in the evening. Is that acceptable to everyone?
Yeah. it's fine.
Is that
What time?
It's Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, and we can do 6 p.m. Yeah.
Just bring your sleeping bag.
Yeah.
You have mine.
Right now, I can tell, but I'm okay with it.
Okay. So we'll get back to the Lossmore Springs Conservation Association and see if the September 21st timeframe still works for them. If so, we'll send out that dispatch to the membership so that you can understand what it is their goals are and how they would be organized.
Where is it gonna be, did you say?
I believe we will use the theater, but we'll confirm that via the dispatch. Yes.
One of the dispatches said for the one for Allen coming up,
Have
Is
We'll be
Here?
here, yeah.
but the sign out front says the theater.
Okay, I'll have it fixed.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so employee health insurance, I believe we have someone here.
Yes, yes, well, Troy first signed. Troy first signed. He's
Okay.
up there. You can use the microphone. Mhm.
Morning, everyone. Troy Persine here. I'm just going to provide you an update on this year's renewal. I believe Julius has got a package some week ago or so that gave me that information. Good renewal this year. Rates were just 4% increase over last year, which is considered a good thing when you're looking at the possibilities of how much they can go up year after year. The plan with Blue Cross, or the various plans, are up an average of just over 4%. Just like other years, we looked at the marketplace to see if, even with that small increase, if we're still finding the best value for the association and its employees. And looking at the marketplace, any other provider was significantly higher than what the rates being offered by Blue Cross. The good news to follow up to is last year we also had a good renewal. We were up 0.6% last year. So 2 years in a row with small increases, which I'm very happy about because in years past I've had some pretty serious bumps of 15, 25% or so. And so it's nice to have a change of just a very small increase. A lot of that's due to the census, the dynamics of who's enrolled, and two, what the claims experience is of the group. And so if we have years or multiple years that our claims are small in relation to what our premiums are being paid, well, then that helps out on the renewals, so have very small increases. And the fact that it was a 4%, I think is good, considering that the trend is usually 9 or 10%. So coming in under that is always a good thing. Just factoring in inflation, and everyone on the plan is a year older than they were a year before. Those are good figures. So there's, I believe you have the figures comparing what we looked at in the marketplace for. So I think overall, best course of action is stay the course with what Blue Cross is offering. The spreadsheet there you have in front of you is what those alternates are, and they're considerably more than what the Blue Cross rates are. Last year we had looked at some alternates. It was one of the first years we were able to get more competitiveness, and we looked to see if an underwritten style plan was going to be favorable for you guys. And after getting all the medical information of those that were looking to participate, after underwriting was completed, it wasn't going to be more competitive and a better price point than what Blue Cross was, and so we stayed up with Blue Cross from last year.
Is that done on a yearly basis? Each year you consider both options, the underwriting option, and then going with either of these or Blue Cross Blue Shield, or is that kind of, we hadn't done it in a while, so we're going to do it this year? Or
well, we hadn't done that in some time, and the two, I'll look to see if there's really been a change in the census. Mm-hmm. And so if we have some of the same employees that are on the staff that were kind of the more frequent utilizers of the plan, well then, okay, we tried yesterday, those same employees are still in the plan, so it's not going to make sense to look at it again.
Right.
Let's wait another year, we're going to look at it year to year to see if it makes sense to go through the extra effort on the employee's behalf, because it's really more of their having to take some time and fill out some medical history. Mm-hmm. And so we'll always be looking at that, because my goal ultimately is like, what's the best value I can bring for you guys so that it's better for the employees and for the association's budget.
Any questions?
Yeah, for the membership. How many people right now are on the insurance? And how many employees and how many employees are on the?
We have 17 people, 17 employees participating on the plan, which is small. I mean, I think it's less than 50%, I believe, of the employee base. So if we had greater participation, that could help with future rates, especially if those participants were younger on average. It depends, but the more lives you can spread the risk across, usually the better you are off as far as rates go. So that does help. A lot of that's driven by the cost share between the association and the employee. I do know that a few years ago we had a lower cost share by the employees, and then that changed. There were some budgetary requirements that require that to be changed, and so we had some participation fall off. And so it's been 15 or 17 people the past couple of cycles, as opposed to we had over 20 a couple years ago.
And the employee pays 10, 20%?
I believe y'all are at around 30% at this point.
And the corporate pays 70%?
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's and aside from the health insurance, but I was speaking with Julie some weeks ago about maybe something I could do to the employees. It was a very low cost to the association, but is a huge benefit to the your employees, your staff, and that was adding a life insurance benefit. $10,000 benefit for each employee. Comes out to be less than $100 per month, premium-wise. And so we discussed that, and I believe we would have approval on moving forward on that from Mr. Peterson. He said he thought it was within budget. And so we're going to be looking to getting some paperwork processed so that starting November 1st, you have that added benefit to your employees of the $10,000 in life insurance.
That's for all employees.
That's for all employees, whether they're on the plan or
One
not.
premium for all employees.
One premium for all
Yeah,
employees.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so
Less
for
than
for the 40 or so employees, it's like less than $100 to cover all of them each
Per month.
per month. Yes.
Okay, and if someone, okay, well then I guess there'd be no reason that someone wouldn't participate in that, so does that take our number from 17 to 40 in
No,
participation?
because it's just
Separate block.
it's a totally separate, two
Gotcha.
separate line items. So
Yep.
two different providers, two different companies.
Right.
So we could have 40 or 100 participating on the life plan, and we could have the 17 on the health. Two separate items.
Gotcha.
Don't mix.
Understood.
We only have about 30 full-time employees, and we're the only ones that are eligible for the health insurance.
Okay.
So the 30 employees will qualify for the life insurance, potentially. Okay, my question is, the board's gonna pay the insurance, or they're gonna pay a percentage of that insurance?
We're gonna pay all of the life insurance.
The
All
board's
the
gonna
life
pay
insurance.
It's less than $100
But they're
a
only paying
month.
a portion of the health insurance.
the 30%, yeah, 30%.
The 70.
We're paying 70.
So we're paying 70%, but we'll be paying, the board will be paying 100% of the life insurance.
Yes.
Thank you.
And when I was mentioning that for Commissioner Julie, I know they lost some employees last year, and I know that in general the employees are the pay scales on the low end, and so loss of that earner is really huge. It's a big gap in that household, and so having something like this to those families in those times could be just a really huge benefit. Really could help them out a lot in that difficult time, and it's at a very low cost to the association.
And is there a scale there? I mean, we're talking the $10,000 level. Is there a $20,000 and
Oh, yeah,
$30,000?
easily you can offer up to $50,000 and it would still be a tax-free benefit to your employee. And as far as dollars wise, it's just like roughly 5 times the cost. If you're gonna have 5 times the benefit, it's about 5 times more in premium, roughly. But yes, you are able to offer more.
Okay. And Mr. Peterson, this is included in the $150,000 line item for the insurance?
It would be, yes. But that's been strictly on how many people take the insurance.
Right,
So it's
right.
strictly a percentage, and it could go up and down.
Right.
It seems to me that there's no reason why the employees wouldn't take it if it's not gonna cost them anything, right?
Well, the life
Life
insurance,
insurance.
probably not.
Yeah.
We have trouble with health
Yeah.
insurance because of the cost.
The
and-
pay,
Yeah, I mean, we've got several different issues why they won't take it, but, yeah, it's the health insurance that we have issues on.
thank you. So this would be like a benefit for all employees and all future employees.
Yeah. Everyone that's full-time, it only applies to full-time employees.
Yeah.
Is there a minimum time employed that counts?
No, anyone that
90 days.
well, it would be the same for a new employee. It would be a similar waiting period or elimination period.
That's what I was getting
Yeah,
at,
so
yeah.
it's right now for your health coverage, it's 60 days plus the first of the next month. And it would be similar for any new employee coming on life coverage unless y'all decided to do something different.
And for clarification, that is not an expense that we're paying now, but if we approve it, we're gonna be paying it next year
Yeah, the
with the
total,
new budget.
the total expense would be less than $1,200.
But it's something else that we need to pay.
Correct.
That's correct.
Yes, that would be something they would be initiating for the 1st of November.
It's $100 a month.
Correct.
I'll
So,
pay it.
Thank you.
all right.
So if there's
Do you have any other?
No, if there's any other questions, you can feel free to open them now, or feel free to reach out through Julie or directly to me. She has my contact information. I'm always welcome to accept your phone calls or emails and respond to you directly if you wish.
Okay. appreciate it. Thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
Any discussion? Do you want to add anything from that? Okay. Do you have a motion?
Motion to approve the health insurance plan through Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I'll second it.
You also have to move the 70%. You also have to.
I will add with-
Percentage.
With the employee paying 30% of the premium and the Ford paying 70%.
I'll second it.
Can you repeat that motion, please? It was kind of garbled.
I'll put my good teeth in a minute. No, I make a motion that we approve the employee's health insurance plan from Blue Cross Blue Shield with the employee paying 30% of the premium and the Ford paying 70% of the premium.
It wasn't Bill's talking, it's the microphone. It's coming through, it's very distorted.
Should I try again? Is this better?
Y'all vote if we need you.
Just say yes.
Okay. So do we have a second?
I'll second
So we
it.
have a second. Okay. Julie, you have a bill for the motion?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. All in favor of the motion? Unanimous. All right, we will now move to the budget for 2021 and 2022. Thank you all for coming. We see more people here than we have in the past, and we've sent out correspondence on this, and I think it's very important for everyone to come and understand. This will be a much different format than many of you have seen in the past, and should be much easier to understand where the dollars are coming from, where they're going, and just where the deficit is. So, take it away.
How would you like me to present this, each department,
Do you want to start with
this explanation?
do you want to start with the history, or do you want?
The history of Fort Clark is sort of hard to put together, going back 5 years. But after you really look at it and look at the different adjustments for different periods, it's pretty much consistent. I mean, your administration is going to, your assessments have been very consistent. It's the collection that's going to be the difference. Your revenue areas are going to be the Barracks Inn, RV Park, golf, and hunt. Those are the things we have options on. Your areas that are not, and are almost always strictly HOA areas, are going to be your administration, maintenance, security, homeowner services, and recreation. Those 5 don't meet, your administration brings probably a net income of $374,000 for the year, or this will be in the budget. The maintenance item will be a cost of right around $374,188. Security is a cost of $281,337. Homeowner services is a cost of $10,448. Recreation, the cost of the Ford is $67,265. So your profit and loss just on strictly HOA areas is right around $359,026. Your revenue areas to offset the cost of the HOA will be your Barracks Inn, which is a hotel, or the motel. I hate motels, so it's called the Barracks Inn. It will create income over the year, probably $147,861. This year, and one thing about our P&L this year, we have expensed all of our capital items in our operations budget. So in other words, where it says we're losing money, it usually comes from capital. It was just, the way we're doing it was easier to expense it at the end of the year. It may come out of our reserve fund or capital fund, but as of right now, you're looking at about $80,000 to $100,000 that has been capital improvements to everything that came out of operations, which is unusual, but that's just how we did it so far this year. If we wouldn't have done that, I don't think we would be getting the DPS officers and the people that we have coming in here. That was one of the things that really swayed them when they first came here. We showed them the newly remodeled rooms, told them we'd have at least 4 more done, and they would get that priority. So that has given us back to having a cash cow for the fort. The RV park, income's $284,000, expenses $91,775, so it has a net income of $126,042, and that's what's budgeted. We will probably see some additional RV traffic because of what's going on in Del Rio on the border also. There are no hotel rooms for a lot of the people coming in. There are a lot of people looking for rooms. Now they're trying to find if they can get Winnebagos or whatever to come in and stay at the RV park. Hopefully we can access that. Golf is the one area that's an issue that we have to really come up with an action plan. The income's $150,650, expenses around $233, so we lose about $85,000 on that amenity. I would really like to get it down to around 60 because I don't think we're going to make a profit on it anytime soon. But it is amenity that it's one of those that makes the difference in the fort. It's part of the whole picture. And the hunt is the one thing that is probably one of the biggest percentage of cash flow for the fort. I think we budget $131,000 in income for the hunt next year. Expenses only $10,500, so we have an increase of $120,500. All in all, those four areas basically contribute $309,237 to the operation of the HOA and fort. Those are our income areas, and that's even with golf losing money. So for the next year, we have a net profit or loss right at $49,789 loss. But that is a paper loss. That's not including depreciation, which I have kept that at the same rate we have. We know that definitely has to be adjusted. And if you go back over the last 5 years of history, and everybody says, oh, we were making money or whatever, so that never happened. But at the same time, you didn't really lose money as far as cash flow. But when you're looking at things like your depreciation, one year you're taking out $360,000 of depreciation, another you're taking, well, not depreciation, bad debt. One year you put in $384,000, 2 years before you put in $135,000. Those were the numbers that were recorded as far as, oh yeah, we made money, oh yeah, we did money. Well, those numbers are not accurate. So we're trying to come up with an actual looking at, what is going to be an accurate number. Still, that is not a cash number that's affecting us. So, all in all, it's a pretty decent budget, but it is a $50,000 net loss. But I think it's very important to understand that we have four areas that we can make money, that can actually make a difference in the fort. That is the full picture. That's the Barracks Inn, RV park, golf, and the hunt. One of them may not be making money now, but it definitely is part of the full picture for the fort. Any questions?
So, thank you. No, so let's, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's a lot of, I've heard a lot of input about the fact that all we need to do is just cut our costs and try to make things go down. And so I sort of looked around the fort for the last couple of days and just want to go into some of the areas where short-term gains and what they've done for the fort. Back when this place was started, they put in Arizona ash trees, planted in the 70s. Quick-growing tree that gave a very good shade coverage for probably 20 years. Unfortunately, Arizona ash trees only live a lifespan of 30 years, but rarely over 40. I don't think you can find a healthy Arizona ash tree left on the fort unless it has just been planted. That's going to be an expense for us to replace. Shouldn't have happened. By now we'd have good. That's an example of short-term thinking. RV park. Go out there and look at all the trees that died because all we did was cut them off at a 3-foot level. So you can still pretty much see where all the trees were. No trees were replanted. Trees that were replanted were not watered. Well, we couldn't afford it, and most have died. Buildings were not kept up because, quote, we couldn't afford it, As of now, we have one HVAC system not been replaced. Now you have a park that is struggling to return to its days of glory. The only reason this has become apparent